Hello and welcome to you all. Bernard, you've got the mic. How's it going? You're kind of in the middle of sound check, right?
Yes, we are, yeah. Just warming up, really, but we're looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Thank you so
This is the
much
first time we will have ever played some of these songs live, ever. So
Really?
we're at a little bit of trepidation there, but not a lot of trepidation.
Oh, man. Well, thank you so much for that. We're really, really pleased that,
It's all right.
you're here
Thanks for
doing
having
this.
us. Yeah.
So this is a building that you've got a bit of history with because, you've done quite a few Peel sessions here in your time. Do you remember when the first one was? When would it have been?
I don't. I remember it being Joy Division. I remember playing Love Will Tear Us Apart, and we couldn't get my keyboard working, so we had to hire at the last minute a rather dodgy keyboard that didn't sound as good.
Okay.
That's about all I remember about it. Oh, yeah, I remember bailing out in a session once because Keith Allen told us there was a party just around the corner.
Oh, really? We're done here. That's fine. I'm happy with that mix.
Hang on, my phone's ringing.
I think the last time you were here was 98, actually, for John
not so
Peel.
long ago.
Yeah, no, not so long ago. We've got a little clip, actually, of one of your Peel sessions that we can have a look at or listen to now. Let's check this out.
Just what you want me to.
Absolute babies.
Once you put me on with my shorts on, my friends are going to take the mickey out of me now.
You put your shorts on.
It was boiling hot. It was bank holiday Monday. The air conditioning broke down.
Yeah.
And they're not shorts anyway. It was a miniskirt.
Well, it was a good look. Look at that, though. Just absolute babes in arms there.
I don't think it looks so good nowadays.
I don't know. I quite like it. So the new album's out now, Music Complete. It sounds, to me like it's been getting a fantastic response. How's it been from your perspective?
Yeah, it has been getting a fantastic response, and which was very rewarding, obviously, because we worked really hard on it. And I mean, you're always proud of every album that you release. I think this one's taken a turn towards electronica and synthesizers, and I think we just managed to get that kind of synergy with our fans and obviously with journalists for once, like us, it does seem to have worked because the album's doing really, really well.
I read a great recent quote from you about being in New Order, which was like saying it's like being in a house, living in a house that you're just in all the time, and people keep asking you what the outside of the house looks like, and you have no idea because you experience it from the inside out.
Yeah, that's right, and the inverse works as well because the people on the outside don't really know what the inside looks like. They know what the house looks like, and it's just been decorated, it's just been painted, but they don't know what goes on inside. Yeah, and obviously some of it isn't very nice. Some of it is nice. They can't see what goes on inside. Sometimes that's a good thing, though.
It's like the swan legs, underneath the beautiful gliding.
I think people get like a caricature of the members of the band that they think people are like this, but it's also slightly wrong. It's a bit like watching an actor on television playing James Bond or something, and then when you meet him, you expect him to behave like James Bond,
Do you think that can be a bit of that can become, I think, tricky for musicians because you have, like you say, your kind of public image, but with success, I guess, psychologically, a little bit of that can sometimes rub off, can't it? Or you have to be careful for it not to not kind of believe your own hype and to keep your relationships strong in the band and to try and stay grounded.
Yeah, I'm not a living legend. So my wife always tells me that's a right
Is
load
that
of
what she
bollocks.
says?
Yeah.
Get the washing up done.
Yeah. Well, you have to be grounded, and I'd hate to be any more famous than I think everyone would hate to be any more famous than they are at the moment because it just means hassle. What's the point? Why would you want to? You can't go to the supermarket. You can't go to the pub. Not that I do go to pubs, but it just means more hassle. So I like things the way they are.
Tell me a bit about making the album, because you're working with some really brilliant people, as well as the guest vocalists that
Yeah.
we've got on the mix. You know, there's Iggy there, Brandon Flowers does a track, also Ellie from LaRue is there as well, and Tom Rowlands too, who was working on some of the
Yeah,
tracks.
he's not
with you.
singing on it though.
No, not as a vocalist, but you know, he was
Yeah.
collaborating with you.
Yeah, and there's other people as well that are
Co-producing.
perhaps not quite as famous. There's Dawn Z, who's a vocalist from Manchester, Denise Johnson, who's famous for her work.
Primal
She worked
Scream,
with
yeah.
Primal Scream,
Yeah.
and electronic. Yeah, I think it's nice to have the freedom within the band to do that, because it opens your mind, you know, instead of it just being the five of us and it being very, you know, that's it. It means you can do more, really. It's more, I don't know, it's just more forms of expression.
More
you know.
options kind
Yeah,
of thing.
sometimes they can do things that we can't do. So, you get someone in who can do something that you can't do. And so it sort of strengthens your bow, you know, and gives you more creative possibilities, yeah.
Well, I read that there was another first as well there, because Iggy's track began life as a poem, and it was the first that you'd ever written. What happened there? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's the first I can remember writing. I was in lyric writing mode, and I took a night off because I'd just finished one of the songs, and I was very, very tired. So I just was sat in front of the TV with a glass of wine, and the words just came to me. So I thought, that's peculiar. So I typed the first line down, watched a bit of the TV program. Oh, I got another line, and just carried on like that. So I think I was being distracted by the television, not really thinking about it, but my subconscious was freewheeling in lyric writing mode and just came up with this poem. And then I read it, I thought, it's not bad, that, yeah. And so I did a really bad Iggy impression.
Did you think of Iggy for it straight away? Did it just feel Iggy-ish?
Yeah, it did, yeah. And again, it's, you know, I just thought it's another colour to put on the album. Someone else who you know, and it gives me less work. So I sent it off to Iggy, and he just sent me an email back and said, "Hey Bernard, sure, I can do this."
That's actually a very good Iggy impression. I think you do yourself down.
Yeah, I could have done just instead of got the cost of using Iggy and all the extra expense, I could have just done a really good impersonation of him and told everyone it was Iggy.
Exactly, wouldn't have even had to get it cleared.
Yeah.
I think the last time I saw you, actually, Bernard, in real life was when you had come to Iggy's Peel lecture and you asked him a question, which prompted a very long answer involving an episode of Country File. It was most unexpected all round.
Yeah.
I never got to say thanks for that, but I just want to do it now, because it was one of the best things that's ever happened.
I think it was struggling a bit to understand my northern accent, but the outcome was that I should maybe get a job as a presenter of Country File. I think the point that it was trying to make of is you should broaden out what you do, you know, broaden out what you do. But I'm quite happy being in New Order, doing what we're doing. Yeah.
I mean, this record, it sounds like you kind of were inspired to get back in the studio after quite a long period of touring, which I think was kicked off in 2011 by the charity shows that you did before you kind of started, you know, going back out on the road in places that you hadn't visited for a long time. Did being out there live as a band make you, you know, change your perspective on what should come next?
Yeah, that was kind of the apology tour, because I call it, because everywhere we played, I had to apologise for not playing there for 15 years or 10 years or 7 years. I'm really sorry, you know. No, we didn't tour for three and a half years, but we were touring for 3.5 years. So we're going out for 3 or 4 weeks at a time, playing South America or, you know, Japan, or we played in Korea, we played in Russia, we played all over the world. And it was good to do it in bursts, because that was manageable. You know, obviously we've got families now, and you need to do it so it's manageable. Otherwise, you know, we've got families, you know. We want to have a life as well as having a musical life. So the way we did it was very well planned. But that went on, and it was extremely successful, and we did it for 3.5 years. But then we thought, well, we need some new ammunition now, you know, so we need to write some new songs. So the time just felt right, yeah.
Well, we're delighted to have you here today.
Thank you.
And couldn't be more excited that you've chosen to share some of the songs with us for the first time. Thank you so much, Bernard. And New
Thank you,
Order,
Lauren.
thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.